I, Amos Kimomi Nyaribo, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee, in respect of the matters before the committee, shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Next will be for you to submit or formally table your management responses.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby table the following documents before the committee. Management responses and accompanying annexes on the report of the Auditor General on County Executive for the year 2023-2024. 2. Management responses and accompanying annexes on the report of the Auditor General on the receiver of revenue for the County Executive for the year of Nyamira for the year ended June 2024. 2023-24. Third, management responses and accompanying annexes on the report of the Auditor General on the County Revenue Fund for the County Executive of Nyamira for the financial year 2023-2024.
Okay, so we've got management responses for the three statements. We'll ask the Auditor General, there was a requirement that those responses were to be sent in good time to allow you to go through and to prepare a brief to the committee. Have you been able to scrutinize the responses?
Thank you, Chair. The responses were brought yesterday, 25th March, the physical copies that were received at our head office. Administratively, we got an advanced soft copy, of which there were no sufficient attachments for us to do the verification. Our understanding is that some of the annexures were going to change to conform to the responses that have been tabled before the committee. So, Chair, in that respect, we have not been able to verify conclusively on the matters, and we have indicated that the issues are as per the report of the Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Governor, is that the true account?
Chairman, is a true account. We had forwarded an earlier soft copy, but there were some issues which made us delay, particularly so many Senate committee meetings, particularly the last 1 or 2 weeks. So we apologize for that.
Clerk of the Senate, what was our requirement? What was our communication to the entity?
Mr. Chairman, the responses were supposed to come on the 19th of March 2025. Or no, before the 19th of March.
Yeah, the issue of appearance before the committees does not apply, and that is not a matter that we are going to consider or tolerate as a reason, because the things that are before me here are dated 17th of March. And if they're dated 17th of March, how come the Auditor General is only getting them on the 25th of March? Now, remember, I started by saying that we have constitutional timelines. Article 2293 requires us to consider, debate this report within 3 months. And we intend to strictly comply with that. In the absence of verified responses by the Auditor General, what other option, because we cannot do the audit here. It is the Auditor General who's on the ground. It's the Auditor General who's a technical person, who's a professional, who can assure us that the 15 pages of issues that he had raised have now been addressed. But in the absence of that, we would probably just end up adopting the report of the Auditor General as is and make recommendations for investigations and prosecutions and subsequent follow-up. Now, members, before I give any directions on this, Senator Mofa, you are not gone on record. Just introduce yourself.
Chair, my name is Mwenda Gataya, Senator Tharakani, the county member of this committee.
Okay, honorable members, you know the pressure we have. We have been sitting in this room since morning so as to comply with the constitutional timeline. The governor, Nyamira, has walked to Nairobi with his responses because if they were sent yesterday, maybe you arrived with them yesterday. And that cannot be the way for us to work. This committee is not comprised of auditors, and we cannot accept documents that have been submitted to the Auditor General just last night. In any case, even if I was willing to accept, we cannot proceed if the Auditor General is not ready to lead us in the conversation. Auditor General, despite with the soft copies that were sent in advance, are you in a position to guide this conversation?
No, Chair. According to our brief, most of the issues are not resolved. In fact, all the issues are not resolved, and probably, Chair, we may not do sufficient justice to give or to guide the committee in respect of the report. Thank you.
Honorable members, I need to get your views on this before we give directions.
Chair, I have been around for some time, and this is not the first time that this committee has engaged the governor. So one would want to know why this anomaly that is so blatant, because this is something that has been intentionally been done, because the governor has given some very funny reasons that he was engaged in some committees here and there. But of course, I don't think whether this committee is going to consume that kind of allegation. So I think, Chair, with that kind of understanding, we may not be able to, because you know the auditors are the prosecutors of this matter, and they have no information on what we are going to prosecute. So I think, Chair, we leave it to you to make a decision on how we are going to involve and go matter the matter.
Senator Wabua?
Chair, you know, I'm almost tongue-tied because I'm just wondering and looking at the governor, and he has come with a big team. I'm actually wondering what they have come to do. Because, in all fairness, governor and your team, this here is part of the documents that you delivered yesterday. We have had custody of the documents today. I assure you that we have very sharp brains here. But even if you brought all the brains in this country together and tell them to process now this document plus others, now, what are we supposed to do with this? What is it that you expected this committee to do with this document now? Chair, and this I'm not just addressing the governor of Nyamira. I'm addressing governors, I'm addressing the family of devolution in this country. Chair, the time for games, if that time was ever there, that time is up. Let it just be known that time is up, Chair. You know, a few years ago we were talking about, devolution taking root, new constitutional dispensation. That's many years ago. We cannot have a situation where a sitting governor, the chief executive of a county government, delivers before Parliament a document that needs to be processed for several weeks. He delivers it today and expects the Senate to engage and make recommendations on the same day. Chair, I agree with you. Maybe this will sound rude, but maybe we shouldn't do that. But when Posta used to operate, there are days that we used to receive letters, and you just do return to center. This is one case where the documents should just go, and then they can form the basis for the next cycle of audit in the next financial year. This is unacceptable, Chair. I am really at a loss as to what this committee can do. But lastly, Chair, if then we are going to have another session to address the governor, then there are things that we need to say. Nyamira County is in the news for very, very, very bad reasons. Extremely bad reasons. This is an addition to those bad news coming from Nyamira. Something must be done. This committee, Chair, has capacity in law and in the Constitution to begin to correct the mess in Nyamira. I thank you.
Senator Murumu.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think there's adequate time that is available during the audit, from the entry meeting, the audit itself, management letter, exit meeting. All these documents were supposed to have been delivered for audit. They were not delivered. You are given a second bite at the cherry. That is to give the documents to the auditor for review. You are not able to give them in good time. Chair, as you said correctly, we don't do audit here. It is the auditors, our partners, who are supposed to have reviewed these documents. I don't find it tenable to continue with this meeting, Chair. I think we just need to tell the governor to go organize his house and we meet another day. That would be it for me, Chair.
Senator Nyamira.
Yes, Chair. You know, we have had sittings with a number of governors, and I have not seen a case, and members will bear me witness, I have not seen a case where the governor delivers a bundle of documents to the auditor on the same day that we are supposed to have a sitting. Governor, you know you are embarrassing all of us. Because these senators here, they are governors. None of them subjected their senator to the embarrassment that you are placing us into as the people of Nyamira. As the chairs put to write it, your documents were prepared on 17th. In fact, if you sought my help as your senator, I would have come to Nyamira, picked them and delivered them to the auditor. If only to save my county from the embarrassment that you are subjecting us to. Because it's better we discuss on details of the issues. But on non-performance from your end, you have your CEC's chief officers, you can't deliver documents to the auditor in time. Governor, is there something you're hiding you don't want the auditors to see on the expenditure of money from the county of Nyamira?
Chairman.
Order, Governor. I think we'll process the communication through the chair. Let's allow the senator to conclude. I'll give you an opportunity to respond.
Because, Chair, you know, some of these things are disgraceful. It's a disgrace. I should be sitting here to defend the county of Nyamira, but now with this disgraceful conduct, what do I do? Where the auditor himself is saying he can't proceed. Governor, this is a big shame. It's a big shame from you and your officers. But certainly, Chair, there is something maybe that is being hidden from us. I agree with Senator Ombua that let's do what we are supposed to do as senators in our oversight role. In practice, lawyers, we used to call, this is what we used to call practice by ambush. Now, when you don't want your adversary to have a good look at the things you have hidden, you deliver the documents in the last minute and hope that you will have scored an advantage over your adversary. This is not right. And the governor should be reprimanded. He should put his house in order. It's not right. I feel sorry on behalf of the people of Nyamira, but I'm not the governor. That is his skunk. Let him deal with it. Me, I'm a senator.
Now, it would then appear that proceeding is not tenable. And if that is the mood, we need to give clear and quick directions, because we have a 3,000-page report to adopt and to be circulated before the close of business today. I will allow the governor to respond, and I'll put a question to the members of the County Assembly, because I've had some of them introduce themselves as members of the Public Accounts Committee. They also have a responsibility, and I want to hear what they have done with respect to this report. Governor?
Thank you, Chairman. We had filed the soft copy in good time. It's only the pictures which took time to take fresh, good pictures of the projects in issue. I plead with you, Chairman, and the committee to accept our written submissions. We have nothing to hide. The auditors can come and verify.
Governor, how possible is that when the auditor has not had the opportunity to review? Because if you had filed everything on time, the auditor had verified and done a brief to this committee, that is when you'd be talking about that nature of request.
The soft copy had been filed. It's only the pictures which were not attached.
I want to make this session brief because it's 3, but you are inviting us into territories that will lead you into problems. Members, was there a chair? Is any of the member a chair of the Public Accounts Committee? Because we usually invite the county assemblies when we are having these sittings. Are you the chair or just a member of the committee?
Oh, thank you very much, Chair. I'm a member. The chairman, Piak, is believed. So we are here on behalf of him. So I could introduce members who are here.
They've already introduced themselves, so just for purposes of time.
Thank you so much.
Article 229 requires the County Assembly and Parliament to consider these reports within 3 months. Has your committee considered this report for Nyamira County Executive?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I want to confirm that our committee has not received the responses, and it's unfortunate that we have, in several occasions, asked for the same, but we were never supplied with the report.
Is the report before the Assembly? Has the report been tabled at the Assembly?
No.
The report has not been tabled at the Assembly?
It has not been tabled.
Auditor General, have you forwarded a copy of your report to Nyamira County Assembly? Because tabling is the responsibility of the clerk.
Well, I can confirm that all the reports of the Auditor General for the period 2023-2024 were tabled to Senate and all the 47 county assemblies.
So, Chair, I think the member is not understanding your question, because if you have requested for responses from the executive, then you are asking for responses for a report that you have. Or what would you be asking for responses for? What haven't you been given? Responses for which report?
Maybe I used has this report the Auditor General's report been brought to the County Assembly
Yeah,
for you to start
Chair.
acting on it?
Yes, it was brought, but you know, we cannot process the document minus the responses from the executive.
Have you invited the executive to respond or to appear before your committee?
Yeah, we have tried in several occasions, but they did not appear.
You invited them in writing?
Yeah, we have written them in several, even a reminder.
Governor, why are you not cooperating with the County Assembly, which is a primary oversight institution, which has greater capacity to deal with some of the things we are seeing here? I'm seeing 12 projects, buildings, I don't know, markets, projects that we cannot resolve sitting in Nairobi. These are the guys who can resolve them. Why are your officers not cooperating with the County Assembly?
The summons, Chairman, were done by a clerk who had been declared illegal by the courts.
His name? What is the name of the clerk who did the summons?
Governor, how does that relate to your constitutional responsibility to account for resources allocated to you? 5.8 billion shillings is in this report. You have been called by the County Assembly to explain. Now, how does the issue of the clerk come in?
It's a unique situation, Chairman.
Yes.
We have been having wars within the County Assembly itself. They've been in court and out. So at one time, one of the clerks one of the factions was using had been declared illegal. So it was very hard for us to deal with one faction from the other until a court pronounced itself around about, is it a week? Or
I'm getting lost, Governor. Isn't there a County Assembly in Nyamira?
There is a County Assembly, but
Doesn't the County Assembly have the mandate to oversight the executive?
they have mandates.
When they call you to respond, why do you get into the legalese of who is in office and who is not? Isn't your responsibility supposed to be to respond to the request of the County Assembly?
It's also my duty, Chairman, to obey the law.
What law are we talking about? Because the law I'm referring to is Article 229 of the Constitution of Kenya. And perhaps the governor might want to have a copy.
There were two.
And various public finance management principles in the Constitution, which requires you, having spent 5.8 billion Kenya shillings, to account to the people through the County Assembly as a primary governor, as a primary oversight institution. You see, Governor, this is why sometimes you have carried a huge delegation to Nairobi to discuss things that could have been discussed at the County Assembly. I personally sometimes think that governors mnajiletea hizi shida. These are conversations that are best held in Keroka or the County Assembly chambers. Now, it's emerging that you have refused to cooperate with the County Assembly on the basis of... By the way, do you know who the clerk of the Senate is? The name of the clerk of the Senate?
I've heard of him, Nyangenya something.
Do you know whether he's validly in office?
I believe he's valid in office.
Do you even care to? It's neither here or there.
Yes.
When he sends you a letter, you don't first go to the court to check whether he's validly in office.
No. This case of Nyamira is a bit unique. Chairman, I want you to listen.
Okay, please.
There are, up to now, two factions of the assembly, which are divided in the middle. So we have been getting summons from both. Until about a week ago, when the courts pronounced who is the legal clerk and the legal speaker, we were a bit divided. So it's a bit tricky. It's not that I can...
let me ask you, have you taken any law, any budget, any supplementary to the County Assembly for consideration?
Yes.
During that time when the duration you're describing?
I took a supplementary to one faction which had been cleared by court to approve. And they did approve.
Am I the only one who is lost?
There were two functions.
You can take your supplementaries to the assembly, but you cannot receive invitations to the assembly.
The invitations, when the invitations were being made, there was confusion as who is the legal speaker, because there were two speakers. One called Nyamira, another one called Okero. So until the courts pronounced themselves, we were divided in between.
Members, this confusion seems infectious, because now I am very confused. Anyone who has gotten the hang of it to help us here? Vice Chair?
The clerk wrote to the governor asking for responses to this audit report. The governor did not give that report because there are factions. But when you wanted your supplementary budget done, you chose to take it to one faction. If you are receiving correspondences from both factions, why didn't you elect the one that would take the responses of this audit report too? Because at least for budgets, you are taking to one faction. But for audit reports, you are taking to none. I'm really confused, just like the chair.
When they had asked for responses, the function which was writing, the clerk had been suspended. And he continued writing.
Was the Public Accounts Committee of the County Assembly affected in any way?
It was, because it was torn into two.
The Public Accounts Committee?
It was torn into two.
What do you mean? There are two Public Accounts Committees in Nyamira?
There are committees. One function from the committee, another one declined. And the courts, when the courts pronounced Okero to be the legitimate speaker, and the clerk called Nyamira, then now we had to deal with the one function which was legal.
When was your supplementary budget presented to the one faction? When?
It was in December.
Was there a court order in December?
There was a court order, but it more.
No, when did the court make a pronouncement on this issue of who is
There
the
was a stay.
No, Governor. You know, don't play games here. Tell us
I want my account attorney to answer those.
Order, Governor.
Yes.
When this pronouncement you have said, okay, when was it made by the court? It's a simple question.
Chair, before allow me, Senator Okongo Omogeni, because you know what is happening here is that we are all now very confused, extremely confused. Chair, can you get to in the room, maybe the MCAs or I don't know who, to paint, Chair, protect me from the governor, to paint a picture of what is happening in Nyamira County. I was actually thinking that we are here for 2 minutes. It would appear like we'll be here for like 10 minutes, Chair. It would appear like there are two speakers, there are two clerks, there are two park committees. Can we get the picture that we can, maybe even two governors, I don't know.
Even before the, Chair, if you listen carefully to His Excellency the Governor, I think he's too much involved in county assembly affairs. What is your interest? Because you seem to know functions, the speaker, who has not been there, who has been suspended, who has been banned by court to do this and that and all these things. I mean, I thought the assembly is very independent.
Chair, assembly is separate.
And you know, there was a question. Just a minute.
Just let the senator prosecute his point.
There is this case that the speaker just fronted. He asked you whether you know the speaker of the Senate, and you said Nyanganya. Do you know his special? The clerk. If you get a letter from Nyanganya now, we don't go to court to find out whether he is currently in office.
Remember, I'm still the governor for Nyamira, and although assembly has got this autonomy, but I'm still the presiding governor, so I must know what's happening. so that I don't deal with the legal function.
Governor, I was hoping that this meeting would not last 10 minutes after the declaration by the Auditor General that we cannot proceed. Now, we have found ourselves having a governor explain to us the going-ons of the county assembly, which is extremely, not just irregular, but very odd. Now, maybe as Senator Wambu has asked, let's hear, now that we can spend some 5 minutes on this, because we must bring this to a close for us to go back to our reports. I've heard you talk of county attorney. Where is the county attorney? County attorney? Please, in a very succinct manner, 2-3 minutes, can you help us understand what is going on from a legal perspective? And then I'll also have the MCAs to respond.
And Chair, maybe even before the attorney responds, do we have a building gazetted as a county assembly? And for the governor now to say that there are factions, do you have two separate buildings where the two assemblies sit, conduct the businesses? Maybe that is the type of picture we want to really get. Because if there is an assembly, when you take your correspondences, you don't need to know who is in there, legally or illegally. You just take your documents to an assembly that is gazetted, and maybe there's a book that would sign that we've submitted our responses. Let's get that picture.
Yes, very succinct.
Thank you, Chair. There was probably, let me see how maybe I can put it. The Speaker of the Assembly was elected at the inception of the Assembly, who was purportedly suspended or impeached. He moved to court. He got conservatory orders.
County attorney, please, we want to get these things properly. You are a lawyer, right?
I am.
You know there's a difference between suspension and impeachment. So what is it? What's that meaning? Was he suspended? Was he impeached? So we follow this and get to know what's happening in Nyamira.
What I was saying is that there was a suspension. He moved to court. He got conservative orders. Then subsequently there were impeachment proceedings, which the court, of course, indicated that at the time of impeachment, that he had conservative orders, therefore he shouldn't have been impeached in that process. So there has been a number of cases in court surrounding that dispute. So what maybe His Excellency the Governor is alluding to is the fight now between who is the Speaker and who is the bona fide Speaker, because of those conservative orders and the subsequent election of a new Speaker after the other one was impeached. So those are the two issues which are related.
As the advisor to the Governor,
yes.
Are you the one who advised him not to honor the invitation of the County Assembly?
No, it wasn't actually probably brought to me.
What advice would you give the Governor in that event?
Since the Assembly is still is at large, it must be existing and it's operational. Despite the leadership language, Assembly must process this operation must go on.
Governor, do you seek the advice of your county attorney? Because what he has said is what I would say.
We were getting two invitations. We honored the one which was legal then, as at that time. Even the budget was cleared by COB when the court had pronounced who is the...
Now come to the audit invitations, because that is what has disturbed all of us, that you got an invitation to respond to audit queries by the County Assembly, fulfilling their primary oversight mandate. You chose to ignore because you didn't like the clerk.
That's not true, the chairman, because the summoning person must be legal. That time he had been suspended.
Senator, I don't know whether you charge your governor for legal advice, but I want to propose that he could benefit from pro bono legal advice.
You know, the county attorney has advised governor that it's not his business to choose who is inviting him to appear. The county assembly must be operational. The question we are asking as a committee is, you got invitations from a clerk on behalf of the assembly. What harm would it do to you if you responded? Because we're having a situation where the county assembly is telling us, you have refused to forward documents to the office. What damage would it have caused you if you complied and forwarded the documents, as your county attorney is saying?
You know, members of the county assembly had been cited for contempt of court. I didn't want to join that list.
This is, do you know the difference between an MCA and a clerk? The communication came from the office of a clerk. There is a difference between Nyagenya and the Senator Wambua. Are we together, Governor?
Not together because
what do you want us to do so that we are
who
together?
communicated had been suspended.
Governor, we have just told you, whoever is in office in the county assembly is none of your business. They are citing Article 2298, which allows the assembly to ask that you supply documents emanating from the audit.
Who will comply?
Do you know the timelines? Have you read that article? Can you read it?
There is something I want.
Do you know the timelines in the Constitution? Governor, do you know the timeline?
Timelines are clear.
So when will you comply? The deadline is on 31st. You want to go back and comply this afternoon while in Nairobi? When you are telling us that you will comply to their request and you have only 3 days to the statutory time given by Article 229. So when will you comply?
Members, we...
no, Chair, it's good to know. Let's hear the miracle from Governor. When will he comply?
It's good to know.
Chair, the attorney has prosecuted that matter very well. I don't think whether we have any other engagement with the governor.
Yeah, because I think from the advice of your attorney, if it was sought, that is what you ought to have done. There's a difference between the office and the bearer of the office. The office of the clerk is an institution. It does not matter whether there's a man or a woman in there. The letters you receive from the Senate, many a times they are authored by some of my clerks here, because that is an institution. It's not about the person. Now, even your offer to comply is null and void, because you have only 2-3 days to the end of the reporting period. And so, if we find that a county is dysfunctional, because this is a county then that is dysfunctional, we have recourse in the PFM, we have recourse in the Constitution. And I think we must apply our minds to the recourse that is available to us. Senator Wambua.
Chair, if you allow me, I want to engage the governor on just 2 or 3 issues. One, Governor Nyaribo, was the county executive a party in the court proceedings? Were you a party in the court proceedings?
We were not.
You are not. So, when the judgment came out, or the ruling came out, did the court serve you with their ruling?
Obviously, we got a copy because we are interested parties outside the case.
No, don't say obviously. I want to deal with real issues. So you were served.
Yes.
Okay, Chair. We want to get that copy of the ruling so that we know what is it exactly that the court advised the executive to do or not to do in relation to the rankles within the assembly. Lastly, Chair, what I wanted the governor to go on record on this matter, because he is the chief executive officer and he has said it. And Governor Nyaribo, I am an avid reader of the Bible, and I believe you are. I know SDA is very, very strong in Nyamira and in Kisii. And I'm very sure at some point you must have come a verse that says that to whom much is given, much is expected. So you must be ready, willing to be held to the highest standards of accountability and responsibility in Nyamira County. Are you telling this committee, and through this committee, this country, that you as the chief executive officer of Nyamira, you have 2 county assemblies in Nyamira, and until last week you did not even know which assembly is legitimate and which one was illegitimate, that you have 2 clerks in the county assembly of Nyamira, and until last week you are not sure which of these 2 clerks is legitimately in office and which one is not legitimately in office. And in a situation like that, Governor Nyaribo, being a responsible leader in this country, if you are, would you say that the county government of Nyamira is functional? Is that a functional county? Or in the interest of the people of Nyamira that have bestowed upon you such responsibility, would you actually be the person leading in saying, let us dissolve this county to make it work, to make service delivery to the people of Nyamira be effective? Because as it were, with only one arm of government in office and factions in the other arm of government, these are dysfunctional county.
Governor, that's, I think, a fairly lengthy question, and it's crafted in a way to give us a way forward. I want to hear your short comments on that. I'll come back to the members of the Assembly. I also want to hear their take, because issues have been said about the Assembly, but they've not been able to respond. Governor, and let's be quite brief.
Chairman, as I had said before, there are 2 factions. One is sitting in the Assembly, whose Speaker was declared illegal by the honorable courts. The other one is now functioning in Mashinani. And Mashinani had been gazetted areas where Assembly can sit. As we are talking now, they are working. So I can say now we have one functioning, and I'm calling them next week for a meeting so that we can move forward.
So which one do you recognize?
The one which court recognized.
Which one is it? The one machinery or the one in the chamber?
Headed by Enoch Okero and the clerk in Nyamira. So
no, for us who don't understand those names,
it's operating in Mashinani. It's operating in Mashinani. So I want them to come together and they work, because court pronounced who the legitimate speaker is, who the legitimate clerk is.
Let me just pause there. Honorable members of County Assembly, these things we are hearing about your County Assembly are very untidy. So which faction do you belong to, now that the governor says there are 2 factions? And just repeat your name for record purposes.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to start by being apologetic that it's an unfortunate event in our county that is happening, and that we are here wasting Senate's time asking which faction is operational. Chair, in Nyamira, there are even more worse scenarios than the ones that you had here. In Nyamira, Chair, we impeached a speaker on 24th October. After impeachment, he went outside, he called some few MCAs, and then he started operating a punge mashinani. Honorable Chair, as we are talking, the supplementary budget that we have had here,
He went with the mess and sergeant at arms.
It did not go with the mess.
Sergeant at arms.
It did not go with the sergeant at arms.
The speaker's robe.
Everything is remained. But once he went outside.
Did you pass any motion for bunge mashinani? Did you pass a motion?
No.
As assembly?
No.
Okay, proceed. But
once he went outside there, he created his own mess.
And how much was passed by what we have called one function, this supplementary budget? How much money are we looking at?
Pardon?
The governor has just said that he sent his supplementary budget to one faction. Okay?
Yes.
Are you aware of that budget?
But we know it was passed the other side because it never came to our side at any given time. So we cannot expressly say what was inside because it never came to the house. By the way, Chairman, Nyamira County Assembly is one that is gazetted, and it was gazetted in 2017. The buildings, as Senator was asking, they are there, and they are known the place where they are. Staff of the County Assembly is still there. I don't know now the people is operating with outside there because the staff is intact. As you've asked, the sergeant at arms is here, the mess is here, everything is at the assembly. So the operation that is going outside there, which is an unfortunate event where our governor is taking the documents that are very serious, is run by one person who was impeached. And for purposes of record, he has not gotten any order after that impeachment. And in fact, he went to court challenging that impeachment. And the case hearing is coming on 2nd of April. So still, he stands impeached. For purposes of record, again, I want to say, and I know this one is known, that once the speaker is not there, the deputy speaker takes over. If the deputy speaker is not there, there is speaker's panel, which takes over. So there is no vacuum at any given time that the assembly can stop operating. So if the speaker was not there, the deputy speaker is there. If the deputy speaker is not there, the speaker's panel is there. So there is no point why we should be told that the speaker was having issues. As my parting shot, Chair, I want to urge the Senate that maybe if you can find time and come to the ground even before you take those serious measures, if you can find time, come to the ground, maybe we try to find a solution together, because it is really your mandate to make counties work, and us as primary oversight, we are ready to come together. Then we find a solution together on the ground, such that some of these...
But Honorable Manyora,
Yes, yes.
You know, if you are telling the Senate of the Republic of Kenya that you can create a faction, you say that faction went and sat somewhere, they have passed a budget, that's public money, that money is being appropriated, there are 2 county assemblies, there are 2 clerks, the governor is elected to deal with one function. Don't you think we can now invoke Article 192 and suspend the county government of Nyamira? Because the governor knows under Article 176 we have county government of Nyamira and the assembly. I mean, we have so many counties surrounding Nyamira. All of them are an island of peace. Why chaos in Nyamira? If governor is not able to put his house in order, we recommend we suspend the county government of Nyamira.
Mr. Chairman.
Governor, was that
I'm asking the MCA.
Yeah, let the MCA respond. I'll give you an opportunity to respond.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, me and the Senator come from the same place. We happen to know the scenarios in Nyamira. Chair, I want to request that even before we move to that level, because I know some of these things can be sorted, only that they just wanted to assume that they are ignorant of the law. Now that the Attorney General, the Attorney of the county has advised here, while we are all here, and we've heard him very clearly, we want to assume that maybe this advice was not given prior to this, and then urge that you give us time, we go down, and if he does not respond, then we are ready that that county be dissolved, because it is chaotic, I'm telling you. And if we were to talk about service delivery, we can say that we are slightly behind. And the governor and the senator can bear me witness because he comes from that place. But before we take serious measure, I want to urge the Senate that you find it good that give us time, give the governor time to go and put his house in order, and then he listens to the advice of the attorney, the one he has given here, and then maybe you give us time and then we do the next.
Members, we must not allow our eyes off the ball. We came here to ask how 5.8 billion Kenya shillings was utilized in Nyamira. Now, we have come across other strange animals in the process, and we must not run after those animals and forget about the one that we are chasing. We definitely must come back to the 5.8 billion, because where people are sitting mashinani or wherever, it doesn't matter. The government is spending, and the Auditor General has compiled 15 pages of financial malpractice and irregularities. For us as a committee, that is our starting point, that is our focus. We cannot force you to love each other, but we must force you to work together for the people of Nyamira. Now, Governor, there's something you wanted to say at some point. I'll give you a minute.
I wanted to challenge our senator. He is one of the people who have been fueling fire, and is now behaving like a priest here.
You are actually doing what you're accusing your senator of doing.
Governor,
be very careful.
Look for other scapegoats. You know, you should be telling us about the queries on how you have spent money. Running away with the name of senator will not help you. If you have misappropriated money, that's what you should be of concern to you. We are here to get answers how you have spent money. So if you think that by giving the auditor documents later and come and shout the name of senator, that will not absolve you. If that count is in chaos, the buck stops with you. That is your skunk. You either put your account in order or you quit. I'm not a governor in Nyamira, I'm a senator sitting in Nairobi. And if I can outwit you, then you're not worth being in office.
I know you.
Put your house in order in Nyamira, Governor.
I know you. That's why you undermine me all the time. But remember,
put your house in order.
Remember, the report we have is a qualified report, which is not as skunk as you are trying to say. It's
now, Governor, Order, Governor.
Yes.
I must bring this exchange to an end.
Yes.
It is not useful to anybody. It is not useful to the Senate. It is not useful to the people of Nyamira. They expect when you come to Nairobi, you are coming to seek solutions. I will not allow this meeting to be one that fuels further division amongst the leadership of Nyamira. We must give direction that Governor, Senator, members of County Assembly must provide leadership. The concern of the Senator from Samburu is on the 5.8 billion that he voted to go to Nyamira. There are other things that can be sorted by Council of Elders or can be sorted by the electorate, can be sorted at the next electoral cycle. We must get responses on the 5.8 billion. whether it is today or after 31st of March, we shall be invoking Article 125 of the Constitution, which gives Parliament the power to summon anybody, and anybody means even the President. Parliament can summon even the President to provide evidence. We must report to the House tomorrow. Now the question is, what report are we taking to the House with regards to Nyamira? As you've seen my colleagues talking of a government that is broken down. You've seen the Senator even making proposals around suspension of the county government. Is that the report that we should be taking to the floor of the House tomorrow? Our job is to see that devolution works. Our job is not to break down counties. So, members, that is a decision we must make. What report are we taking to the House tomorrow? In the absence of verified documentation by the Auditor General, we will reach the conclusion that the 5.8 billion Kenya shillings that the Senate sent to Nyamira cannot be accounted for. It doesn't matter who the Speaker is, who the clerk is, where they sit. So let's bring our focus to the numbers. After getting our focus on the numbers, there are those other hygiene issues that I've had, which also must be addressed. Honorable Senator, you understand the terrain better. I think there must be, I heard the governor say that he's calling the MCAs next week. Is that a statement of fact?
Yes, Chairman.
Invitations have gone to the members?
I've consulted with them, and even here, we have agreed, all elected MCAs and myself, we should meet first.
Members of our county assembly, have you accepted the invitation?
Thank you, Chair, once again. I want to say that we are open to that. Though some of us have not received those invitations, but we are open to that.
Okay, so, Senator, do you think that is the route they should be taking? And I'd like to hear your views on that. On the numbers, I think we are very clear that you must account for the 5.8. That one, there's no escape. But now,
you know the first thing, Chair, I don't have a problem. The first thing is to give an assurance to the people of Nyamira that the money that we send to Nyamira has been used for the intended purposes. You know, all the queries that have been raised by the auditor as we speak today remain unanswered. And despite the side shows, what we expected from governor and what we need to tell the House tomorrow is whether we are convinced, us and the Auditor General, whether that money has been utilized properly. Because Senator Chair, despite all the shenanigans, at the end of the day, the people of Nyamira want value for money. People of Nyamira want services. People of Nyamira want to get medicine in hospital. They want water. You know, when the auditor tells us that 8 million has been put in a project for water, they have not received the water, they expect answers from us. So I think as a committee, despite what is happening, failure to supply documents to the county assembly, we must tell the House the truth on what is happening in the county of Nyamira. And you have seen it for yourselves. You have heard from honorable MCAs. You cannot get money without accountability. We cannot have a situation where a governor of a county appears here and does not want to take responsibility on how money has been spent. Sure. And we have powers to make all manner of recommendation. If this money is going into people's pockets, let there be an audit, even a lifestyle audit. So my first concern as a senator of Nyamira is on the proper utilization of the funds that go to the county of Nyamira. That should be number one. Number two, Chair, we have 47 county governments and county assemblies. it's not the responsibility of a senator to ensure that there is sanity in the assemblies. That is the responsibility of governor. If I was governor of Nyamira, that would be my responsibility. So governor has a responsibility to put his house in order, to have the assembly work seamlessly, and they be given a chance to do what they are supposed to do. If he's unable to do it, that means he's unable to govern. So that responsibility, Chair, should go back to the governor. If he can assure this committee that he will stop this idea of identifying factions, he goes back, holds a meeting with the MCAs, we give him backup. But so that we don't drop the ball, let's escalate this matter further. If there are any criminal activities that have taken place, including the passage of the supplementary budget, Chair, we have an obligation to recommend appropriate investigations, and if any crime is identified, we recommend action be taken. Because passing of budget is not a discussion in a market. It must be done properly. 4, let's also do an inquiry to understand where is the Assembly of Nyamira supposed to have its sittings. Is it supposed to sit in the Assembly building, or they have passed a motion to do Senate machinani? So let's also intervene as a Senate. Let's have, we can have 3 committees or so addressing the happenings in the county government of Nyamira. That chaos, Chair, is a disgrace. It's an embarrassment to all of us. It's something that we are not proud of, and we wish to see it come to an end. Chair.
Chair.
Thank you. Senator.
I think I've heard from the governor that the machinani sittings have been gazetted, and how many of them have been gazetted so far, because I've heard from Honorable Magera that the county assembly premises or county assembly chamber has only been gazetted once since 2022. And if he has the evidence of the gazette notice for the sittings in Mashinani, then he should table before the committee.
I think we can get the gazette notices. Actually, Pungi Mashinani was gazetted for the first time 2015. And it has never been gazetted. We can be able to prove.
I don't think the governor should be speaking on behalf of the assembly, and I don't think he should be answering questions relating to the assembly, because that then will further confirm that he's managing the assembly.
The first time Senate had its sitting in Uasin County, a gazette notice was out. It was gazetted that we are sitting in Uasin County. When we had our sittings in Kitui County, the same was done. There was a gazette notice for that particular sitting, and the governor is alleging that the county assembly is sitting in different locations. So the governor should give us those gazette
notices because they are in the bottle. We can provide. Chair, we can provide. But the issue the senator is raising is more personal than official. Several times I pronounced myself as a governor. If they don't unite, I can write to the president to appoint a committee which will look at Nyamira, and if it cannot be able to solve the problem, then it be dissolved. I have done that before, but I have not written because I'm seeing a situation whereby we can be able to solve the problem in-house, except for some 2-3 MPs, including Senator, who has been fueling fire.
That is completely out of order.
Governor, you are not helping us.
You will not make headway if your focus remains this good senator of Nyamira. You will actually embarrass yourself more. The problems you have are between you and your MCAs. The senator of Nyamira sits in Nairobi. Focus. Put your energy where you have problems. If you put your energy where there are no issues, you will not make headway. I'm giving you free advice, Mzee Governor. The problems are in your doorstep between yourself and your MCAs. I'm not an MCA myself. That's free advice. But Counter Tony, I want you to give us some light. How does that Gazette notice of 2015 looks like? Did it give you a blanket check? Because the way we do our county machinani, we pass a motion to sit in a particular county for a given period, okay? And that motion is for that duration. So how is yours gazetted? As we say, we'll be sitting in Uasin Gishu in the month of August between 10th to 18th. And we said that's where the sittings of the Senate will be held. So this one of 2015, how was it worded? Just for my benefit.
Thank you, Chair. I may not comment much about the 2015 Gazette notice because apparently I don't seem to have seen it. But there is a Gazette notice which was setting the sittings, which was done somewhere in, I think around October, November, somewhere there. No,
you see, Governor says you are using the Gazette notice of 2015. So you are saying is not right. It's misleading the committee.
No, I will not say that because I'm only saying that I may not comment much about the 2015 one.
So
but
we believe between you and Governor?
I've seen a Gazette notice of 2024.
Okay, let's go to the one of 2024. How is it worded? Let's say Governor is wrong, is misleading us with 2015. How is it worded? One of 2024.
Protect your clients.
How is it worded?
I don't think
is it worded
that
the assembly will sit between a given timeline at a specific place? Because I'll expect if you are going to do Senate machinani, for example, in Mawawa ward, it will say the county assembly will do sittings in Mawawa ward from this date to this date. It cannot be a blanket gazettement.
It must even prescribe the venue.
The venue, it must be detailed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be doing, we're also trying to help you. If you do illegal sittings, pass budget and you appropriate money.
They do Gazette all the time.
As a county attorney?
Yes, county attorney. We must
want to understand how you do it.
I understand.
Yes.
It's only that I may not be very precisely tell what is contained in that Gazette notice, but what I remember casually is that it was stating the places of sitting.
The venue and the time.
And the venue and the time.
And the period.
Yes. I'm not sure about the period, but I saw Gazette note of that.
MCA, I think final word. I must give way forward. It's 4 o'clock and our report is being awaited at another level.
Thank you, Chair. I think in this one, we may take a lot of time doing what we are not supposed to do. Whenever, from the County Government Act, whenever a machinani is supposed to be, there must be a motion in the assembly allowing it to be done. Now, even if you do Gazette notices or what, if there is no motion from the House, then it is not and void. Because it is the members to agree that you are supposed to go out. I'm sure even the Senate, that's what they do, that they get the motion first, then they do the gazetting. So in this case, we have never done any motion to this. Thank you.
Chair, if you allowed.
Please make your submission very brief.
Thank you, but just 1 minute. Honorable Chair, I want to confirm that when they went to the government printers and they were refused to be given a Gazette notice to Gazette Bunge Masinani, in their own wisdom, they went and obtained a fake Gazette notice. And as we speak, we went to the government printer. The government printer confirmed to us that 30 Gazette notice does not exist. And they are using that fake Gazette notice to transact very serious business, like passing the CFSP at Bunga Masinani, fating the municipality board members, and even today, they are fating a nominee to the CC department in Chenda. That is how serious our county is, and you have confirmed here that the governor is also pending towards one side. He is now actually aligning himself to Okero, who is an ambiguity speaker. So the idea that he is going to call us will not bear fruits because he is already biased.
I don't think you should preempt debate or preempt because we are here to seek solutions that can help the people of Nyamira to get services. When everyone is fighting everybody, it is the people who will suffer. And honorable members, I've sat here and I'm wondering what is the problem? Is it the governor who has failed to provide governance and direction? Is it the senator? Of course, the senator does not pass laws and budgets. Is it the county assembly? I'm looking at these financial statements. Honorable members, I can see Governor Amos Kimomi Nyaribo. He is a holder of a Bachelor of Commerce, Finance option, and a chartered accountant. We are struggling here with audit issues. And this gentleman is supposed to be, or am I reading somebody else's description? Are you a chartered accountant? So what is this in your financial statement? What is this? It goes ahead and says, before joining the county leadership, he previously served as a senior economist with the World Bank Group. Is it true? Is that you?
No, is it true? I've not seen that.
Because, you know, I've read this and I'm wondering, why are we struggling with Governor Nyaribo if he's a chartered accountant?
I have a master in finance.
And a former World Bank employee?
No.
So even this financial statement...
Chair, now then I think I just dissolve this meeting. Not adding value.
Okay,
you know why, Chair?
This meeting to
that document has been tabled by the governor himself.
I don't know the chairman, I don't know the document you are reading.
So, Chair...
A financial statement,
Chair.
Governor. Page 12. It has your photo and your description. And I'm here saying, this governor knows what should be done according to his education and experience. And I've been wondering, why isn't he getting it?
So who faked the profile of governor? Who faked it? Because it's here. Huh?
Chair, allow me.
Who takes responsibility? You know, just a minute.
Sure.
You know, it's a crime to tender false information before a committee. It's a serious crime. So who did this? Governor. It's page Roman 12. Who takes responsibility? Who takes responsibility?
Other than forwarding, I don't send financial statements.
So who takes responsibility? Because we'll take note in our report. Who will take responsibility? Who prepared the documents?
It's from finance department.
And it has your signature.
Forwarding signature.
You didn't read through?
You know, members, this is not a financial disclosure, so it might not be material, but it is a symptom of a problem. Because if the governor's description is wrong, then there could be a problem. And I came to it. I can't say it, Chairman. I was about to praise you, to tell you that you have the right credentials to solve the problems. Now I withdraw. Senator Wambua.
Chair, on the issue of, and I would want the governor to hear this, it will be important. Mr. Governor. Mr. Governor, this is important for you to hear. And your county attorney. I believe that the county attorney is a member of the LSK, right? Yes, you are. And you know there are implications from a professional body if you act unprofessionally. Good. Chair, county sittings and venues for county sittings are exclusive province of the county assemblies. The executive has got absolutely nothing to do with where county assemblies sit. For the governor to appear before a committee of the Senate and declare on record and under oath that the executive has gazetted the venues for the sittings. Chair, you know, Governor, if you are listening to me from the beginning, perhaps you know where I'm going. But now because you're hearing things at the tail end, you're not jumping to respond. Just wait, relax. Chair, I want to request this committee, because this is a serious affront on devolution, to find out exactly whether it is true that there have been members of the County Assembly of Nyamira sitting in areas that have not been designated and gazetted and made resolutions that have the weight of law, including passing supplementary budgets, vetting county officials, and if that is found to have happened, Chair, then serious action, legal action, must follow. I thank you.
Members, we must close this meeting. All that has been said here is pointing towards one thing. Governor, you want to...
Something you wanted to show you. A settlement. He wanted to show you the settlement.
No. We are getting fatigued with the accusations and counter accusations of Nyamira, and in the process, we are losing the essence of why we are here. I want to recommend that this committee should do a special inquiry into the governance matters of Nyamira, the things that are within our mandate. Of course, we cannot take over the mandate of the county assembly. That would be a review of financial arrangements guided by the reports, the various reports of the Auditor General, guided by the various reports of the control of budget. We will also, in that inquiry, have a quick test on compliance. Are those budgets passed in accordance with the law? Are they processed in the manner in which the law requires? And I think once we do that, we might even want to ask the Auditor General to conduct a special audit on various areas where we think there could be a problem. That can be done in Nyamira, or depending on the program of this committee, we can have the parties come before the Senate. We will take that decision. But what is certain is that something is broken down in Nyamira. You will not agree on who has broken it down, but sitting where I'm sitting as a chair and someone who comes from a neighboring county, the stories today are the stories that spoil the name of devolution. Tomorrow, we are going to fight for additional allocations to counties. We are going to fight for counties to get the RMLF money. But if this is going to be the story in the headline, who is going to take us seriously? We'll be told that we are fighting for money and we are throwing it into a bottomless pit where there are no controls. So all these things, we must bring them to a close. For purposes of reporting to the House tomorrow, I think we'll be asking the Senate to agree with us that a special inquiry is necessary for the governance and fiduciary aspects of Nyamira County. The documents that have been tendered, even those that were tendered outside time, I think we've seen some certain copies that are completely, you cannot read, especially the photos that you said that you're uploading. Could you provide for our guidance and for our records, could you make sure that whatever has been submitted is clear, is legible, so that we can also refer to it when we are making our report to the House? Because, you know, initially you had talked of us adopting your written responses, but when I look at page 33, page 34, and page 35, that's Annex what? That's Annex 2. The documents under Annex 2, there are photos that are attached there. They cannot be, we cannot make sense out of them. Please make sure you submit.
Chair, which report is that? Receiver.
This is your report. Yeah, receiver. No. I think this should be for the executive. Or it's receiver of revenue. The receiver of revenue. Yeah? Make sure you submit to the clerk copies that can be read. If we went further, we would be akin to flogging a dead horse. Do we resolve that that is the direction of the committee?
Yes.
Okay, unless there's any other observation. Governor, is there any matter in closing?
Because you have nothing to hide, we welcome them to come and look at it.
Fine, so we will be taking our report to the House tomorrow. For avoidance of doubt, we will be guided by the report of the Auditor General, but we will also indicate to the House that there seems to be a complete breakdown of institutions of governance in Nyamira County, and we must use formal and informal means to ensure that there is closure. Governor, go back to your county. You are the leader. That's why they call you His Excellency there in the county. If things are not working, don't be too quick to assign responsibility to others, because if things were working, I am sure you would take all the credit. So please, for the sake of the people of Nyamira, this Senate directs you to go back, bring heads together, bring institutions together, enable institutions to work, enable the people of Nyamira to enjoy devolution like the people of other counties. I think that then brings us to the end of this consideration of Nyamira. It has not gone as we would have expected. It has taken longer than we had planned. So, Governor and your team will discharge you, and you will get an invitation for our next meeting, which would either be in Nyamira or in Nairobi, after the House makes a resolution tomorrow.
Most welcome to Nyamira.
Fine. Sergeant at Arms, you'll allow the delegation to exit so that we can continue to the next agenda of our meeting today.